It's the beginning of a brand new day today in Tibet. And you see, many people call this place the roof of the world. And why not, with an average height of over 4,000 meters above sea level. And they always say you get the best view from above. Let's see how these Tibetans live their lives. I'm Yin, and welcome to Travelog.
Tibet is a mysterious land, and its capital, Lhasa, is its spiritual center. Lhasa in Tibet means place of gods, and indeed, it has been a destination for Buddhist pilgrims for centuries. People from far and wide journey to the center of Old Lhasa, its heart, the Jokhang Monastery. The monastery was constructed by the Tubo king Songtsen Gampo in the 7th century and has been the oldest temple in Tibet. When Songtsen Gampo married a Nepalese princess and later a Chinese princess, Princess Wencheng, they both brought sculptures of Sakyamuni, the founder of Buddhism. The king then ordered the Jokhang Monastery to be built to house these holy sculptures. Nearly all Tibetans follow Tibetan Buddhism, known as Lamism. Buddhism was introduced into Tibet in the 7th century from India. Today, the power of religion still runs strong, and people gather outside the monastery every morning to prostrate at the main gate. By doing so, it's believed they collect good merit for the next life. I have never seen more devout peoples anywhere in the world. The Jokhang Monastery can claim to be the center around which the city of Lhasa developed. With the growing number of people circling the monastery, prostrating themselves, the most representative Barkor Street was formed. Today, Tibetan people still follow this custom, moving clockwise around the monastery every dawn and dusk. It appears the street still whispers the stories of old Tibet. Nowadays, Barkor Street is also a hive of market activity in which visitors can buy all sorts of souvenirs.
See, this piece of cloth is the typical costume for what the local ladies wear. And you see, I got one myself here. It's double layers, red on the inside and blue on the outside. And it's things like this that keep you cool in the summertime and warm in the winter. Look at the embroiders.
Most items on the street relate to the religion, since religion plays a role in most aspects of Tibetan culture. Tankas are the richest forms of Buddhist art. Tanka is a kind of scroll painting mounted on fabric that depicts a wide range of themes taken from Tibetan history, social life, and traditional culture. The main theme of Tanka is religion, and portraits of Buddhas and religious scenes are common.
Contemporary Tibetan art. Wonder what that looks like.
The Lhasa of today is a blend of past and present. Art has taken on a new face in art galleries on Barkor Street. Contemporary art includes traditional religious themes blended with abstract or postmodern ways in presentation.
Art in Tibet. What does that exactly mean? Well, typically people will think of the tankas or the murals that are on top of the monasteries and the rooms and the walls. But nowadays, you see painting in Lhasa has taken almost a different type of turn. There's many different faces to it. And around me now is a perfect example of what's modern here in Lhasa. You see, instead of just the two-dimensional, very brightly colored pictures of Buddhas or things from the scriptures, now you still have sometimes the same content, but it's displayed in a completely different way.
For a taste of local culture, you gotta try local foods.
On this section of Bajiao Street, there's all these daily food items that the locals eat. Like, see over here? This is sort of dried yak butter, and over here is shredded. All different shapes and different widths and everything. And I guess the people here like to have their yak butter in all different forms, with their foods, with their yak butter tea, and everything else.
Most Tibetans still prefer to eat traditional foods. And the Majiami restaurant on the street can be just that place for you. It's a fine place for a good view of the city as well.
What a great place to have a meal. And you see, around here, we're right in the center of Lhasa, the most important street, Bajiao Street. And the street was formed around the Jokkang Monastery. And you see the people, even today, walk around the monastery in a clockwise manner, just like they spin their little things here. And you see, around here you find vendors on the sides and people, tourists and locals from all over the place get a taste of what it means to be a resident of Lhasa. And of course, that's essential. What's essential is you need to try some of the local food. And you have people from all over the place here just for their specific food. Sometimes, most popularly, the Tibetan food, the yak meat and the mutton. Maybe we should give it a try. Nice. Finally time for my meal. And you see, we have all these Tibetan dishes, like the yak steak, which I was looking forward to, some vegetables here with some local yogurt, and mushrooms, and of course the local barley, which wrap around the vegetables here. So what am I gonna do? Just one person and all these vegetables? I'm gonna get started.
Majiami is a small eatery known to many international visitors. The restaurant combines Tibetan with more of an international and Western taste. The decor of the place is something else, strikingly Tibetan, but also displaying Lhasa's modern twist. You haven't been to Tibet if you haven't seen the Potala Palace. In stories and legends, we have heard of the holiness and mystery of Tibet, and perhaps it's